Just before we tested 4 new pu'er from Sichuan. We had a break and here we're back with Lincang. Hi guys, this is Gabriele from nannuoshan and today I'm back with Caroline.
Hi!
Another time for pu'er, Caroline. Are you ready?
Yes.
Today's the pu'er day. She asked for tea and I was just preparing for the next video and I thought, okay, just join me and we will get some tea. So, just a few hours ago actually, so for you last week, we posted and we drank some tea, some new teas that we received from Sichuan. I have to say that I tasted those again when I was off the camera and you know, when I could concentrate on the tea without really having to speak and so on, which makes a big difference. And I have to say that those three, the two from which was the name? He Kai and Pasha, didn't really convince me much. The last one really still much better. That hoodiness, it was really very clear and a spot also a mint note that I like. So a freshness to it, you know. It was very clear, yes, a hoodiness with some maybe eucalyptus, a little bit of freshness. So I really like that tea. I checked again the price. It's not, they were not that cheap, but it's still kind of, I would say, a good price for the type of tea that we were drinking. And now we're going to a completely different story here. So I have already put, just to shut time, there are already 4 grams of leaves in each of them, and we just go quickly through. I show you some picture, I tell you what it's about, and then we just jump into it. Carol already started. So I have here, as always, as before, the computer, because they say those are all new teas. I don't have everything in my head. So what we have here, this is really the most expensive tea of the 14 we have received, super expensive. It is a Bandong 2018, relatively fresh, just 4 years of age, but really expensive. So this is the type of tea, Caroline, that for, well, it comes in 200 grams cake, so it's relatively small, but will be, you know, several hundred euros. So it's really an expensive one. Then we have on the opposite side here, is coming from the same place. This is a loose tea.
It smells totally different. Yeah.
Really? It's 2 different sources. So this one is from Hongjuntang. Hongjuntang is the brand that we started sourcing last year with Sushin and Dain. For those that have tried, really 2 very successful cakes. And Sushin probably the top favorite actually of our Sheng Pu'er. And this is come from exactly the same brand. This is a completely different story. This is actually a farmer tea. It's not pressed. And that's why it comes also with a much different price tag. The wholesale price is 5 times smaller. And it is 4 years older, 2014. So, yeah, but same place in Lincang, Bandong. In the middle, we have 2 teas from the same producer. Another...
Yeah, they smell very similar. For me, like,
yeah?
I really
but they
like
come
the
from the
smell
same place.
because it's it reminds me of passion fruit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And both have this passion fruit smell. So I was like, what's the difference?
So passion fruit like the one we have there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the 2 are another company that we work with. So far, we had a lot of Sheng Pu'er from this company and already 1 Sheng. So we have other 2 Sheng here. The 2 tea, I have to check again. So I say they come from the same company. The name of the company is Guanjijai, and the place where it comes from is Baiyingshan. Baiyingshan, very up in the north of Lincang. The 2 teas are actually very fresh, spring 2021. Okay, come from the same place. There is a difference though. So they are both gushu, by the way. There is a difference. This one here, Ergazi, I think they call it. I didn't check actually even the translation. Yeah, Ergazi. This is, they call it a special tree variety. In the sense that it is a tea that is halfway, they say, between cultivated and wild. Now, what does that mean? They couldn't explain that to me, and I see just 2 possible, let's say, explanation. One is that the tea that was cultivated back in the time and then just due to natural mutation changed it quite a bit. And the other thing is that was a tea that once upon a time was cultivated and was cared after, and then they just let it grow. One of these two things, we don't know. This one here, same place, but cultivated. Okay? Last piece of information, and then we started. We have enough water. I have to put probably a little bit more water. Yeah, I'll be right back. Which one, Caroline, do you like the most?
This one. I'm very intrigued by the passion fruit smell.
Okay. So very fruity pu'er. That is already starting very interesting.
And this one, the loose leaf, very.
Oh, okay.
Also intrigued by
Well,
that
it's
one.
good because you know those are cheaper.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
This one,
So if we look,
this one smells less intense, but it's also I guess, yeah, I don't know. It's
you have
just
to find out.
it might change totally as soon as the
That's
the leaves are
you know
wet.
sometimes the price is just given because it is a very special garden. Maybe it's up in the mountain, very ancient trees, whatever. But who knows the taste? Let's find out. And let me see if I have more information to give you here. This, and that. No, I think that's pretty much it. If I have to tell you something about the prices, let's say this is really expensive. Like let's say it costs 100 wholesale price. If this costs 100, this costs 20. So like 1/5. And these two in the middle here, this would cost 14 and this 10. So this tea costs 1/10 of this one. Both gushu is not cheap, yeah, but is I would say an affordable gushu, yeah. So we have to warm up a little bit the water, and I would say, yeah, we are back with you in a minute. Water is almost boiling. The Twitter center even looks similar actually. Oh wow, yeah, that's the one with the highest pitch is more you know getting into the nose, but that's just aroma. We have to find out the taste. All right, let's do here maybe 1 minute to get started. And you always want to, I usually have 15 seconds in between, which gives me enough time then to pour it out. Today's pu'er day, and this is just 8 samples of the 14, so we will have to find time also to taste all the rest. There is also a Fengqing Honcha Gushu that I'm really looking forward to try. So this year we asked also for more Gushu black tea. Then we go here with the last one. And by the way, this producer is the same of Cloud Mountain. That is another big success of the past year. Is a Gushu black tea that we have to order during the year 3 more times because every time was just getting sold out. Thank you. See, and these with 15 seconds, it gives you some time in between, but not extremely so. And with 4 teas and 15 seconds in between, you cannot do really faster steeping than 1 minute. So something also to take into consideration, unless you pour out the tea before brewing the next one. I'm sorry. Here we go. So in terms of color, let's see.
This one's slightly darker, maybe.
That's interesting that, well, the two in the middle are really light in color because it's 2021. Very similar color we have here. And then we have the 2014 is not that dark actually. So maybe it's also good for the comparison. Actually, it's darker the younger. That's interesting. So different probably different processing, but also different types of aging maybe, but the processing can make a lot in terms of taste. Feel free to start, Caroline, if you want. Oh wow, very fresh. And let's see this bomb here. Okay, that's a little bit of smokiness tobacco note, this one. It seems to me a bit less clean than the rest. This very neutral for now. And the two in the middle are just interesting. They are, yeah, very aromatic and fresh. Let's start with the young one, okay? So that... So this is the one that is half wild, half cultivated.
So it's the first steep, again very light.
To me, more fruity than floral.
Yeah.
Very, very characteristic flavor, I would say. Curious to see how this evolves. But nice taste, yeah? I don't know, you said, you were saying here maracuja?
Yeah.
Yeah, tropical fruit in general makes sense to me.
But also something yeasty. Like fresh yeast or something.
And this is the other one from the same place but cultivated. Is a bit more expensive than the other, but the difference is so small that you wouldn't really notice. Yeah, we could even sell them almost from the same price.
I don't know.
Before I liked more the first one. I tried again.
I definitely prefer the first one. The second one is just like not. There's not a lot of taste, right?
Yeah, it's flat. It's
totally flat.
But this one is really interesting. It has this fresh tropical fruitness to it.
Oh, but it's very subtle, so it's quite nice.
Yeah, but the tea is subtle in general because we didn't steep. I mean, it's just the first. So let's see how it evolves. So very interesting, less interesting. Well,
maybe this
okay,
one.
let's go with this. So the super expensive one. They were quite generous with the samples. We paid actually for those, but those samples were free.
So this one didn't really particularly smell a lot, but I love the plum notes. The plum notes are nice.
Okay. Yeah, it's very round. The taste is very round. It's really nice. Yeah, of course it's no more fresh, but it's very gentle, round. I like it.
Me too.
It's soft with character, super expensive. So this is like 100 is the reference. So it's 200-gram cake would cost maybe, I don't know. Well, don't really trust what I'm saying right now because I didn't check exactly, but let's say a couple of €100. So it's not the most expensive Sheng we ever had. We had already Sheng that were double this price, but still very high price. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. It has it's soft and thick at the same time. Are you already at the fourth? And you notice, well, okay, let's wait, I'll say it later. Let's wait the second steep. Totally different processing. As I was saying when I smell it, I smell some tobacco and smoke. There is some charcoal, some smokiness, some of that I think comes from the processing of the leaves. I say farmer tea, factory tea. So it seems it has been processed a bit rougher in a way. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's more of that and there's less. Like if you want the subtle notes or something, you want to get this, but it's still good. I mean.
Oh no, it's a good tea, but to me there is no comparison with this one. Like this is so so much, so more clear in taste. Yeah, and it's not very strong tobacco, but let me see if I can spot some notes. Also fruity. The first thing I thought was oranges, actually, as I had in my mind, in my mouth. Okay, so Caroline, what we do now, that's tricky. Shall we do 20 seconds? We did 1 minute before, but now it's already brewed. Or do you want to go for a minute?
Maybe a bit less because
Less than before.
yeah.
Okay, let's do like this. It's a bit tricky, you know, when you have 4 teas. I will brew these and these first, and I'll do 30 seconds each. Okay. Very interesting, yeah. So the second steep in the previous video was much
Very,
longer.
very strong,
Was
yeah.
very, very strong. So yeah, we will have now, we cannot compare that anymore now because it's simply, it's much shorter now, so we cannot compare these tasting with the previous one. We say we do for 30 seconds, 2, 1. Yeah, it's still quite dark, yeah. Can you switch the thanks? Yeah, it's still working.
Oops.
So 2, 1. Okay. We start with the first one, right? It's very hot, Caroline, so just be aware. It has a very warm and mellow smell. Yeah. These, you know, for those that are into a little bit of tobacco with some fruitiness, is a good tea. It's fairly affordable actually, but there is no compare, even in the aroma.
Okay, maybe I'm influenced by our previous tasting, but the second steep isn't that strong, and I'm missing the.
It's still very light, yeah.
High
We should have
notes.
steepened longer. It's tricky. We had a 1 minute before. We have 4 grams of leaves. 1 minute, and now we're 30 seconds. We can do, you know, the next one a bit longer.
Yeah, that's a bit too little.
That's too little. It's fine. This is, I mean, for this price tag, this tea should be at the very, very beginning. Like, it should reveal us much more. Do you want to go for a minute?
Yeah.
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 Okay. So while and now so light, you don't have a lot of tobacco, and
Yeah. This one.
it's not bad actually.
I'm a bit disappointed by this one because it's like you
can-
feel flat. I don't know if it becomes flat super fast, but I don't know.
Well, it's either that or just we steep it too shortly for the type of tea it is. Well, that one with that strong tobacco and smokiness.
It's something you can probably steep for a very long time, and it's it's probably the most astringent of all as well. So it's also like
No, it is, yeah. So another 30 seconds. So I pour some more water here. Yeah. Can you fill this again, please? All right. So we said, okay, 10 seconds. And let's go for a minute here. So a lot of experimenting on the way. So now I'm curious if with this fresh tea, spring 2021, so actually about a year, is getting bitter with another minute or not. It comes from Lincang, where usually tea are way less bitter than in Shishanbana, the tea that we had before, the previous video. So let's find out. Let's go the same order, right? Or yeah, or reverse. Usually reversing is better actually. So that I suggest going, when you're going one way, go in the other then. So that if you smell something, if you taste something, you can really double check that was not a cross influence. It's not bad actually, yeah.
It's very subtle, like a lot more subtle than this one. And it's now it's interesting. I can really feel a bit of flower notes, but very slight, like.
And me apricots. I was thinking at apricots. Certainly,
flower.
yeah, a lot of. Well, you a little bit of flower before you say the passion fruit. Now, so you see there is a lot of tasting compounds in it. Although before this was the one that we liked better. So let's try. You know, this was fairly flat in comparison. Really interesting. Actually, I was thinking how cool it would be to do this type of tasting when we source tea with you, so that you can help deciding. And I thought, you know, if any one of you is in Switzerland or near Zurich, or is in Berlin, maybe that would work out. Let me know. Just write an email to gabriele@nannuoshan.org, and if you're up to showing up on the nannuoshan YouTube channel, maybe we can do a sourcing video together.
Flowers.
I like it.
Chrysanthemum or flower, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, and I still taste the passion fruit. So
Really?
yeah, it's
smell
passion
all the
fruit
flowers
with
now.
these flowers is.
So this one
also
is
not
just
bad.
a bit stronger taste compared to this one.
Yeah,
I feel.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not in the tea much more intense. It's the taste.
It's the taste,
that is
so
more
the notes,
present.
if you want the flower notes, they will be just slightly stronger in this one. But this one is also good. But I think before we tasted it in the other way around, so it was very difficult, just one after the other, just to taste the difference, especially if this one might be just a tiny bit less flavorful.
And still going both directions, we both
I
decide
think
for it.
this
So,
one,
okay, you know what? I have another taste a little bit to this one, and I will do a new steeping of the
You want some?
Bandung. Yeah, why not? A little bit, yeah.
It's so different. So this one was steeped 30 seconds, but it feels
More powerful than
more
this.
like more powerful, the typical pu'er taste, the astringency. And before it felt weak, so I don't know what my problem is now.
It's not much. It's not much bitter. It is astringent. You feel drying the palate. You have that. Let me say a tiny tobacco. So I'll honestly, so far I probably won't go for it.
Yeah, because it just it dries out your mouth a lot, and then it's probably difficult to taste the subtleties of the other ones.
Yeah. Because if you really want a tobacco taste, a smoky taste, then probably it has to be even that aspect has to be even stronger than this. But this is in Italian we say is neither meat nor fish. It's like, you know, something in between. It's not tobacco smoking strong, and it's not aromatic. It's something there in between. Yeah. But I will go for. I like this, and I like the price. So it is a double like. It's a double like here. So give us a thumbs up. Give us a like.
Yeah, and if you want to have a Lincang in your shop, I guess that's it's sweeter, so it's
Yeah.
It's probably.
I mean, we have a few from Lincang, but this is more. It has this additional florality and fruitiness to it. Fresh. It's fresh fruits. Is fresh flowers. I mean, it's a fresh tea. Yeah.
What year is it?
2021. Yeah. This Guanjijai company is still very convincing. They have good prices and good tea. The this one Honjuntang has always had good tea, but they usually come at a certain price. So it's yeah.
Yeah, so if you taste this one after you cannot taste.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Especially the fact that
Yeah.
this is actually 40% more expensive than this. But since the price are both relatively low, it doesn't make a big difference for you. That's amazing. But
And this one is more astringent as well than this one.
yeah,
I feel.
yeah, it's less clear.
This is really just, yeah.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Starting at 10 seconds, I have to remember this. 10. So you know what? We are not going to taste this anymore because I think I don't know. It's I say it's no meat, no fish.
Yeah, it smells a lot like tobacco.
Yeah, it's and that comes. I mean, the tobacco note that comes from the processing, doesn't come from the leaves. Do we want to push this to see where we go? If we get some bitterness.
You can. Like, I smell a bit of mint now. Like, it's weird. And let's see.
Certainly freshness, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we see 1 minute. So Karen, let me know what do we do
Yeah,
with
I would
these
still
two?
go for the half wild one.
Do you want to steep both again?
Yeah, but we can try really pushing it to see, because it
Power
feels
steep?
very, very
Okay.
soft in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but nice. Like, not that it's flat. Yeah.
Okay, let's
We'll
see.
see.
You know, let's see if we treat really badly the tea, what comes out. We start at 45. Help me remembering all these numbers, and maybe we do it 2 minutes here and see what we get out of it. Okay, now I didn't wait the 15 second, but over 2 minutes is not a big difference, so I will hurry up pouring out. All right, the Bangdong. Do we have any information about this? No, not really. Here is a bit hard to get information just because they don't speak English at all. Not
The first
convincing?
tip was good, but I don't know. Nothing afterwards. Like, yeah. Nothing peculiar. And for the price, it's
For the
quite
price,
crazy.
forget it, yeah.
Nothing.
No.
I mean, it's a good pour, but I mean, there's nothing striking about it or anything. And if it's more expensive than the other ones,
What's
there's
the
no
point?
point.
Yeah. Yeah. That really,
Mhm.
yeah, something you have to taste, yeah. Oh, okay. When did they started? 45, I think I said, yeah. Did I? I think so. Okay, another 30 seconds, then we do this last. So we already saying this is too much tobacco, but not enough. Not enough aroma, so discarded. This is just good, but way too expensive for what it is. And here we have a middle ground with a relatively fresh tea, yeah, and good aromatics. And after 2 minutes, now it's interesting to say if we get any bitterness in comparison with what we had in the previous video when there was the Sichuan Banna tea. All right. Can you help me with the filter? All right. Let's go again in this direction.
Yeah. So you can still feel the fruity, flowery notes, but this time with, of course, more power.
The
Like,
bitterness?
but more like, yeah, bitterness astringency, because it was steeped longer.
But
Right?
it is good, you know. Every time I start with this, I say it's a good tea.
Yeah.
And I mean, bitterness a tiny bit in comparison with this morning. That yeah, for me, I mean, that was biting me. This is. And I have to say, if I start with this one now, I have those tropical fruit also in that one.
Fruit and floral at the same time for some reason, yeah.
I'll go a little bit more with this. I want to get used.
This is a lot more chrysanthemum, like
Really?
just like more floral than fruity. This one is fruit and floral.
It's good tea. There's even a little bit of white wine. This one, to me. Okay, let's go with the. That's really. It has these peculiar notes that is just there, and yeah, it's like on the tip of your tongue when you have in your mouth, and then pew, it fill up the mouth. This is really convincing me, and if I look at the price, I'm convinced it's 3 times.
And this is also slightly less astringent, so you, yeah.
Yeah, it's really, it's really good price, and so maybe this specialty variety. I have really to find out more about it. Hopefully, I will be able to get that information. But yeah, I think you spot it really well with the chrysanthemum flower. Yeah, but not overwhelming in any way. It's very harmonious. Yeah, it's not it's not like a taste that is getting off on its way. Yeah, it's very well integrated, I think. So let's start with the other one. Yeah, I think that's the way it is. Sometimes you taste a tea and you say, that's not good. Sometimes you taste and you are not sure. And usually when you are not sure and you drink further, it tends to go in one direction. No. And then you have like these where it's just good. Which one you have now, the third?
The problem is every time I go back to this one, you don't taste as much, right?
Yeah. So when you start with that
this
one,
is clearly,
way better.
superior
So
or something.
it's when you start with this one, it's
okay.
really good.
You can
And then you go to this one and you say, wow. That's you see how important is the direction you go. Yeah, because if we would have gone only in this direction, you would have never realized this actually is a good tea. Yeah, and maybe if we can sell it a little bit cheaper, would be an interesting comparison because they come from the same place, the same year, and so I have to give maybe another taste to that one and think. But it was a good one, yeah. So thank you, Karen, for not letting me alone in this tasting. It's always better to drink with someone. And I think we had a successful day today. I think we have identified 2 teas that you might guys find in the next few months, maybe over the summer, on the nannuoshan shop. Let's see how the next tasting goes, and I think I will send it over also to some friends to get an additional feedback. Could be even Joe, maybe.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thumbs up. Bye-bye.